You know, back in the fall of 1885, up in the crisp air of Rocky Ridge, Montana, I was just this 22-year-old girl named Emma Hayes, standing in our drafty old parlor with my heart pounding like a runaway horsemy stepmother Helen towering over me, arms crossed, eyes like cold steel, telling me I had no choice but to go. "He's expecting Clara, your sister," I whispered, clutching my worn travel bag, but Helen just sneered. "Clara's only 18, too young for some rough widower in Idaho with a kid and a cabin barely standing. You're tougher, Emma, more disposable." Those words hit like a slap. You see, because Clara was her blood, the golden child always pampered, while I was the leftover from Dad's first marriage, scrubbing floors and dreaming of something more. But that day, with the wind howling outside promising snow, I boarded the stagecoach west to Pine Valley, pretending to be Clara, carrying James Harlan's letter like a fragile promise. I offer honesty, a home, and quiet respect. The ride dragged on for days, dust choking the air, nights freezing under thin blankets. I kept rereading his words, praying he'd be kind, that his little girl wouldn't see through me, that this deception wouldn't swallow me whole. And when I finally stepped off in Pine Valley, the sunset painting the hills in fiery orange, I braced for a shack. But there it was, a solid timber house with a wide porch, herbs drying in the breeze, smoke rising from the chimney like a welcome. James emerged from the barn, tall and weathered at 37, rolling up his sleeves dusted with hay. His eyes, deep green and steady, met mine as he tipped his hat. "You must be Miss Hayes, Clara," he said, voice warm but cautious, and I nodded, throat tight, forcing the lie. Then this tiny girl peeked from behind him, 7 years old with messy pigtails and freckles. "Sophie," he called her, clinging to his leg, eyes wide with a mix of fear and hope that tugged at my soul. We settled into this uneasy rhythm, me helping with chores, reading bedtime tales from his worn Bible, brewing chamomile tea by the fire James never pushed, always giving me space, like when he said, "Take the upstairs room for now, no rush." And I felt this unexpected warmth, a kindness I hadn't known since Dad passed. Sophie was shy at first, sneaking glances, but one night she crept into my room with a tattered wooden horse, whispering, "For you, Pa carved it for me, but you look sad sometimes." It broke me a little, that trust, because guilt gnawed at me every time James smiled softly or Sophie leaned her head on my shoulder during stories, murmuring, "I asked God for a mama, and he sent you anyway." Spring came slow, melting snow into streams, and I found myself laughing in the garden as James teased, "If your beans don't sprout, we'll just call 'em wildflowers, 3 stubborn like you." His grin making my cheeks flush. Those quiet evenings on the porch, sharing silences that felt full, blooming into something real, terrifying, because how could I confess now, when love was taking root? But then the storm hit, not just rain, but Clara and Helen showing up unannounced, Clara in her fancy lace dress, parasol twirling like a weapon, Helen's voice dripping honeyed venom. "Mr. Harlan, we've come for my wayward stepdaughter. She stole your letters, pretended to be my Clara here, who was meant for this life." James's face hardened, turning to me, "Is it true?" And I stepped forward, voice steady despite the ache. The name was a lie, forced on me to escape their cruelty, but every laugh with Sophie, every shared glance with you, that's been me. Emma, no one else. Clara gasped dramatically, hand on her chest. "She's always envied Mimi dresses. My future now, she's stolen yours." Helen chimed in, smirking, "A thief in your home, playing at family." Sophie clutched my skirt, crying, "Mama," but James stayed silent, eyes unreadable, and it shattered me. Gathered my things, kissed Sophie's tear-streaked face, and walked into the downpour, heart left behind in that warm kitchen. Yet that silence haunted. James found my hidden diary, pages spilling my fears, my love, my guilt, and Sophie's words echoed. "That fancy lady's not my mama, the real one sings about the moon and makes everything better." He rode through the night, rain lashing, finding me at the train depot, soaked and broken. He leaped down, voice raw. "I don't care about the name, you brought light back, Emma, with your stories, your gentle hands. Fury, the truth we needed." I froze, tears mixing with rain, and he knelt right there, offering a silver locket he'd bought weeks ago. "Marry me, not as a substitute, but as the woman I choose. We wed under blooming aspens, Sophie crowning me with daisies, vowing forever in summers later, with our baby son in my arms, the ranch thriving, Clara long gone in disgrace after the town rallied for my quiet deeds. But sometimes I wonder, was the lie ever justified, even for love? What do you think, does a fresh start excuse a deception, or should truth always come first? Drop your thoughts below, share if you've faced something similar in your community, and let's chat about where justice fits in these messy human stories. Hit subscribe for more tales like this. See you next time.